Okay, so I have my cloth loaded in, and we're going to create our cloth the same way which we created every other thing, but there's going to be a slight bit of change. So first, let's create the thing as we are used to. So we are using, so these are not the textures I exported. So work file, marmoset, cloth, and picking in OpenGL. Since it's OpenGL baked, I don't have to flip Y. So there's that. In my roughness, let's plug in roughness map, which will be this. Inverted, base color. For specular, make it metal, and plug in our metal map right here, which should be, oh wait, this is a inaccurate map. So basic thing, everything in our cloth should be non-metal apart from these chains. So instead of going in and re-importing it to save some time, I'm gonna get rid of this one and make it a zero metal. So it's our whole cloth. All right, so one thing, okay, wait, let's add occlusion as well. That will be AO. So albedo is fine, gloss fine, and let's go to my sky. Delete this, maybe create a light so I can see some things better, something like this. So cloth in general is gonna be almost the same as everything that we have done, apart from the fact that shading of a cloth is a bit different than normal metal and insulators. It does have a fuzz. All of those microfibers, because it's a game thing, we cannot have all of those small microfibers to give us effect. So we fake that by adding a fuzz. Basically, that's what microfibers in your cloth are actually doing, it making it look more fuzzy. We cannot actually have those microfibers in a game. So we fake that using a shading system which uses your Fresnel. Right here in marmoset, how do we enable it is you go to your diffusion, and instead of Lambertian, make it microfiber. So you can see the Fresnel, wherever the Fresnel is, I can see a white highlight, but right now it's a bit too much. So what we're going to do is decrease our fuzz and just give it a slight bit. So you can see we have a fuzzy look right here. So this is off, this is on, off, on, off, on. You can see it just a slight bit of it make our cloth shading looks a bit more like cloth. Then we have fuzz scatter, like how much it scatters in and how much it does not. And then we have fuzz occlusion, which I like to keep it at complete one. Just a personal preference, I like to see things a bit more darker in the occlusion. So we have our fuzz giving us a bit of a highlight. So what fuzz usually has is you want to take a desaturated and a lot lighter version of your base color. So let's say this is a dark bluish. So white fuzz usually is gonna work in 60% of the cloth. If you have a straight up white fuzz, it's gonna work. Sometimes I like to have a lighter, not this much, not this much, and that's a bit too much scatter. Oh wait, I'm changing my base color. So in the first color, just give it a blue, but make it quite desaturated and a lot lighter of what our base color is. Okay, this is case specific. It sometimes works, sometimes does not, but white fuzz is always a safe territory. So you can just go with that and have a fuzzy look in our cloth. All right, so that's how you make a cloth shader inside marmoset. These values are mostly to be eyeballed and find out which looks best and keep it there. So I'm gonna play with this for a while. So yeah, that's how you create a cloth material inside marmoset. All right.